So for those of you who've been following the channel for a while, you probably know that when I first started, I was shooting mainly on Fuji. As time has gone on, I've tried a bunch of other things and I've always been interested in other gear. Right now I'm shooting on Nikon quite a bit, but I've always missed something about Fuji, which is the film simulations. Everybody loves them, they're so fun. You can do other things with other brands that are similar, but Fuji really kind of has it down. They've kind of nailed it, and I think all the other brands are trying to catch up. So I was really excited when Milos reached out to me from Fujify, and he said like, hey, I'd love you to try out my profiles and see what you think. Basically, he was somebody who, just like me, absolutely loved the Fuji colors, and when he kind of went away from shooting with Fuji, he was really sad that he didn't have those profiles anymore. So, being a software engineer, he decided, what the hell, I can make those. And he made some really amazing profiles I'm gonna show you today. I'm pretty pumped on these. I think they're pretty cool, and I'm gonna go through what I like about them and where I think they can help with some people's workflow or just for fun, and I think you're gonna really like them too. What's up, my name's Chris Tayez. I'm a photographer and videographer based in Ontario, Canada. I mainly shoot portraits, events, weddings. Today we're gonna look at some of these really interesting, fun photos that I did from a photo shoot a while back, and we're gonna see what happens when we Fujify these photos and if we can get to something that we really like. I also, if you look below, I do have a link that's gonna get you 15% off, which is really generous of Milos, and that also will help me out a little bit. But yeah, I think you're gonna be stoked, so let's dive in. What we're gonna do is we are going to cycle through and take a look at a few of the different profiles from Fujify and see and compare them. So right now what we're looking at is my standard preset. I have two different sort of like standard presets that I bounce between a lot, either my straight Nikon one or my Nikon Film V2 or Film V1. Both of them I like. I think they're just a little bit different in how they interpret things. But I'm liking how this is looking overall. I think this is a fun looking image. Let's see what the Fujify profiles can do to it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to reset everything here. So we have everything reset here exactly how it would be at import. We are gonna go to our profile. We're gonna go to browse, and then we have all the different Fujify ones here because we've loaded them in. So right away, we can see basically the huge differences between something like, you know, Audiio to classic chrome, going down into classic negative. What's cool about all these too, so if we look at, let's say we look at classic negative, you have your standard classic negative, and then he's done a really interesting thing where he separated these out by the color chrome and the color chrome blue. So what this basically does is it allows you to cycle between just adding the color chrome in a strong or a weak level, or adding just the other color chrome in a strong or a weak, or you can add color chrome weak, color chrome blue, weak, strong, all these different things. So you can actually like really fine tune what you want out of them. So let's go with something like, let's look at Audiio. We'll go to Audiio, just the regular Audiio here. What this has done is this has applied a profile. That profile makes a bunch of changes to the images, but it does not affect any of your sliders. So right away, we still have full control. We can set this to whatever we want to here to get to the right kind of image that we want to without having to deal with the fact that our sliders have already been touched, because they haven't. So right away with this one, I know for sure I am going to want to bring my contrast down. I'm going to want to bring my shadows up. I'm going to want to bring my highlights down a little bit, and I might bring my exposure up just a little. Okay, so we're in a pretty good place here. We are going to bring down our texture and our clarity a little bit. We might bring up our vibrance a little, and then we're going to go zoom in here, and we are going to go to the colors here because this is looking too orangey for me. We'll click on here, and we will try and adjust these to where we think we want them to be. First thing we're probably going to want to do is actually bring our luminance up a little bit, and that's going to soften those colors a bit. And then we will bring our saturation down just a little bit too. I think we'll keep the red where it is. It's really just the orange that was getting a little out of hand. Okay, this is looking way more natural, which is good. That's what we want. So with just a few quick clicks here, you can see that we have overall done something really, really nice for our image. Maybe we want to throw in, I'm gonna throw in like a little reverse S curve here just to soften things a little bit more. And now we've got this like really pretty soft image using the Audiio profile. Let's go to a different photo. Let's go to this one here. I really like this photo. So if we throw on our Nikon film preset here that I have, bring this up to where we like it. I really like this look, but let's Fujify it a little bit. So we're gonna reset things. Now let's try and do something. I think I wanna use a Turna on this. I've always really liked a Turna. I know a lot of people shy away from it because it's just too soft, too washed out for a lot of people, but I think a Turna can look really, really pretty. But I think you have to use it right when you're using a Fuji. So let's see what these will do. So we're in our Eterna Cinema. Let's see what some of the color chrome effects will do on here. It's looking like they're adding something pretty subtle overall. So this is our base, and this is like a stronger application of it. I think we will go with something like this. So we're gonna add our color chrome strong, close things up, and now we have our base image to edit. Let's just adjust this a little bit. We're gonna bring our exposure up a little. I'm gonna bring our contrast up just a little bit. Highlights can stay more or less where they are. Shadows, I think we'll bring those up a little bit. I want to get a little more color into here, so I'm going to bring my vibrance up just a little and my saturation up tiny bit. We'll go into our curve here and see what we want to do here. I think we're going to try and probably bring these down just a little, and that's about it. I think this guy will bring down here. I might actually bring up my black point a little too, something like that. Yeah, that feels good. That feels cool. Bring our exposure up just a little bit more here. Going down to our colors. I like the colors overall that I'm seeing here. I think they all look really nice. We could probably use a little less saturation in that yellow in the back because I think it's just a little distracting. And I'm gonna bring the saturation up on the red just a little because that'll bring out the lips a little bit, and that will bring out the boots a little bit. Luminance, I think everything's looking pretty good. I think we'll bring the luminance up on the yellow just a touch, and same with the orange, which will affect our skin colors. And now we have a pretty fun looking image, and that's all done in just a couple minutes of quick editing. Okay, so looking at this photo here, this is like a classic Fujifilm photo. I feel like this is a photo you would take with a Fuji, but it wasn't. This was taken with the Nikon Z8. So this is the overall edit that I did to it, but we will go back to reset this. Actually, no, we're gonna make a virtual copy because I quite like this edit. Cool, so we're gonna reset this back to how it came in. Right away, I know there's a few things I wanna do to this, but before we do that, we're going to apply our profile, and I wanna keep this kind of stronger contrast here, and I think I wanna keep it in color. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna look at classic chrome, because I think classic chrome works really, really well with some of these kind of styles of shots. So this is our standard classic chrome. You're going to see some bigger effects with things like the classic chrome, like color chrome blue, and then the strong, weak, all that kind of stuff. You're gonna see those make more of a difference here. We're just gonna stick to the classic chrome here. And what's cool about this too is I can actually dial this up or down if I want to increase the look. So you can see what it's doing to the blues there. If I wanna really crank that up, I can. If I wanna really mellow it out, I can. I'm gonna keep it pretty much where it's at. But I know for sure I wanna warm things up because this was a warm day and I wanna make sure that this is still feeling warm. So I'm going to bring up my white balance a little bit, and I'm probably going to bring the green down just a little bit, somewhere like that. Now we have a base image that is just a little bit too intense for me, so we are going to bring up our exposure a little bit, and we're definitely gonna bring up our highlights a fair bit, something like that. I like the way that that looks. Our whites, we might bring up just a little more because I do want to really emphasize how strong of a contrast this was. And we'll bring our blacks down a little bit too. Clarity, we're going to bring down a little bit, but texture we will bring up. And I think that's pretty good where it's at. Maybe we'll see what vibrance does. I think I'd rather adjust all those myself, which is cool because I can actually do that using this. So we'll go into our slider here, and we are going to create a really, really gentle S curve here, something like that. But I'm gonna bring down my high point on my highlights. Finally, we're gonna go into this. So the big colors we're gonna play with here are gonna be like the orange and reds, and then the blues and the yellow. So the yellow, let's see, I'm gonna make it a little more orangey, something like that. The orange is gonna get just a touch more red in it, and the red is gonna get a little more orange. And then we will go to our blue. So this right here, we're gonna be affecting all of this. Do we want it to have like even more of that color? Maybe, probably not quite that much, something like that. And then we'll see where our aquas are sitting here. There's not really too much to be had. And that's pretty much it. I might go through and I might do things like, we'll remove this here. And I think things are looking pretty good. This is definitely like a Fuji feeling image for sure. It's contrasty. It's strong, it's intense, but even if I did, again, want to dial that back, I could just bring this down a little bit and it's going to mellow things out. And I could even just bring my saturation or contrast down rather, and we're going to get a more like gentle image, kind of closer to the one that we had originally. So if we look at that compared to my original edit, it's actually pretty close. That's cool. I like it. You can see on my edit, I lifted up the blacks a fair bit compared to this, but other than that, I think things look pretty good. Damn, that was totally unintentional. That's cool. So hopefully this gave you a good sense of what these can do. I think they're really fun. Like I said, there's a link below, you can check them out. But I just want to say shout out to Milos for like reaching out to me and for being so cool with like sending stuff over and working with me. I think these are really interesting and they're definitely worth having. I think they're way better than just having a standard preset because there's still so much you can do with them on top of the profile. So check them out. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.